Hello and welcome to another in-depth review as we will be taking a look at the Cyberzoic 1/18 scale Carnotaurus Sastrei. This is a figure that a lot of people has been looking forward to seeing in the last 3 years, including myself. And now the wait is finally over. It's here in front of me and now I'm ready to go in depth in talking about this figure. So let's begin. Let's start off by taking a look at the packaging here. As you can see, here's the front with the Carnotaurus still in the packaging. You have an artwork on the right side, and if you look down at the bottom of the packaging, you see the full name and the type of role it plays within the Cyberzoic universe. And here's the back side of the packaging with the same artwork as seen in the front, except with the armor and rider on the Carnotaurus. We have some info and status on the bottom left, and the armor set and rider that will go along with your Carnotaurus when they are released later this year. Now here's the Carnotaurus out of the packaging, but still within its clamshell. We have the main figure and swappable feet on the front, and behind all of that is the extra accessories. Very different than how it was with the stegosaurs, but hey, this is pretty much how most Create Beast Studio figures are packaged. And let's not forget about the backdrops that comes inside the packaging. Here's the sci-fi-ish background look here, and the gorgeous artwork backdrop done by Wrath Momentum minus the Carnotaurus. Here's all the accessories that we will be going through in a little bit. And here's the close-up of the train card that comes with your Carnotaurus. And as I said before with my previous Cyberzoic figure reviews, it will be playable for the upcoming Zoic train card game. So here's the Carnotaurus completely free from the box. And let me tell you, this thing is freaking awesome. When I first saw the promo images of this horned beast during the Kickstarter campaign for Cyberzoic, I knew that I had to get this thing eventually. And nearly 3 years later, it does not disappoint. I've been waiting for a definitive Carnotaurus figure for some years now, and Create Beast Studio, they delivered. As of this recording, I've been playing with this beast for the past 24 hours since opening it up from the packaging. And let me tell you, I truly think this is definitely by far one of Create Beast's best Fairpod figures to date. And as we'll be going more in depth, I'm about to show you why. Now let's take a look at some measurements on this meat-eating bull. You're looking at up to at least 20 inches long from the snout to the tip of the tail. Up to at least 8 inches tall. And from each side of the hip, probably up to at least close to 3 inches wide. So definitely a good sized dinosaur for sure. So let's take a closer look at the paintwork and sculpting on this Carnotaurus. There's something about the coloration on this figure that gives it a very volcanic vibe to it. Like, imagine if you see this dinosaur walking in an ash field, and that's pretty much the kind of feeling I'm getting while looking at this figure. Also, if I remember correctly, I believe that David So did say that he used a tegu lizard and a tiger as color inspiration for this Carnotaurus. Definitely a very fitting choice, given that this dinosaur is part of the Fire Clan within the Cyberzoic universe. In addition, it also has bright blue eye colorings, which in my opinion just gives it a very menacing appearance to it with that volcanic tone coloring. And as we open up the jaw and see the inside of the mouth, it looks absolutely realistic. Just the way how the gum is washed, along with the detailing around the in her mouth just reminds me very much of how PNSO does with their dinosaur figures. And speaking of detailing, let's talk quickly about some of the sculpting with this figure. Like those rounded spots you see around the whole figure, you may think they're osteoderms, but actually these are called feature scales. Not too long ago, there was a pathological study that seems to say that Carnotaurus had these feature scales all over its body instead of the usual spiky osteoderms that we often like to think of it. So with that latest knowledge being applied into this figure, it feels so refreshing to see in a modern Carnotaurus action figure. And lastly, this Carnotaurus actually has a cloaca on it, which is pretty much a big first for Creative Beast Studios to finally put into their dinosaur figures. Now let's take a look at the articulation on this Carnotaurus. Starting out with the mouth, this is as far as it can go. It pretty much includes an articulated tongue, as you can see here. The head goes side to side on its own, as well as for some decent ups and downs. And the neck, this whole neck has a double bow joint that can each from side to side go up to at least 90 degrees. And for up and down movements, this is as far it can go up. And this is as far as I can get it to look down. Now let's take a look at those tiny arms. This is as far wide open as I can get it. As far down as possible. And far up as I can get it. Anywhere further than that is definitely going to get that arm pop off. And for the torso section, nice side to side. And also has some great up and down movements. Next up, let's take a look at the legs. It can pretty much go such insane movement. Look at that. I can definitely get this to 360. Woo! I probably should have done that, but oh well. The knee goes as far here. Definitely really great improvement on those knee articulation. The ankle, this is as far as you can go. And let's not forget the feet as well. And finally, let's take a look at the tail. And I do apologize for the loud noises outside. It's currently rain. But anyway, the tail has a brand new sleeve addition that pretty much makes the movement of the tail in this section a bit more realistic. As you can pretty much see here. Then you got the midsection here. And let's not forget the bandy wire on the end of his tail. Oh yeah. So following from the recordings of me showing you guys the articulation movement, I was able to get some really cool poses out of this Carnotaurus. I mean, the engineering updates that was put into this figure is absolutely astounding. So many amazing poses that you can definitely get out of this figure. It makes for such really fun pictures. Now let's talk about the accessories that comes with your Carnotaurus. To begin with the base. This is the large size version of the base that's normally used for the bigger theropod dinosaurs. It comes with the medium support arm here and the larger support arm that I so happen would often like to use for my Carnotaurus, as you can see in this picture. It also comes with an instruction on how to set up the base, as you can see in this picture. Next up are the swappable feet. You have a total of 3 sets here: walking pose, closed pose, and standing pose. As you can see with this picture, each foot are labeled so that way it's easier to tell which foot you're using whenever you're switching them onto your Carnotaurus. And to demonstrate on how to swap your feet, you first pick whatever foot you want to use. Here's the left stepping foot as an example. So we gotta take this foot off and put this one in. And voila! Nice and easy. And to wrap up the accessory section, let's talk about the swappable horns. So much like the swappable feet, each horn are labeled so that way you can tell which horn that you're using whenever you're pointing onto your figure. First, here's the long horns that are attached to your Carnotaurus when you open it up from the packaging. Then you have a more curvy version of the horns, the shorter set of the horns based on the conservative estimate to how big they might have been in real life, and a set version where the horns are broken. In addition, you can also pretty much have some fun customization with your horns however you like, based on the pictures here as you can see. So you can pretty much give your Carnotaurus in however horn display you like. Lastly, let's do some size comparisons. First up, we have Argentius and Dragonlina from the Cyberzoic. Next up, here are some of the Carnotaurus' colleagues of the Fire Clan. On the left, you have the Dilophosaurus. On the right, the Dryptosaurus. And in the middle, the Achillobator. Here's the Carnotaurus along with the Cyberzoic version of the Allosaurus. As previously mentioned before, the Carnotaurus is part of the Fire Clan, but the Allosaurus is part of the Tech Clan. So I can pretty much imagine that these two dinosaurs are going to be great rivals to each other in the Cyberzoic story. And for a final random comparison, here's the Carnotaurus with the beast of the Mesozoic Pachycephalosaurus. Although these two dinosaurs never actually met in real life, the only reason why I wanted to bring the Pachy into this video is because it's pretty much the very likely size limit that the Carnotaurus would have hunted in real life. Unlike other Predatorian dinosaurs like T-Rex and Allosaurus, which had bigger snouts, the Carnotaurus' snout was small and narrow, making it only very limited to hunting small dinosaurs. So any dinosaur up to the size as the Pachycephalosaurus that lived in the same formation as the Carnotaurus, they would have been absolutely terrified to see this horned carnivore chasing after them. So overall, this Cyberzoic Carnotaurus is a near masterpiece. The paintwork and the sculpting, as usual with any Creative Beast figures, is always superb. But what makes this Carnotaurus set apart from the most is definitely within the articulation. That new addition of the sleeve on the tail just allows it to much more realistic movability like never before. And the legs are especially such a joy to play around with. Like seriously, the updated ingenuity that was put into this figure really makes it such a big difference in how much more playability you can get with this Carnotaurus. But if I do have a tiny nitpick with the articulation, is that I think the neck movement can use some new updated ingenuity too. While I don't have any real problems with the neck movement on this figure and all, it's just I feel like updating ingenuity for the way it moves up and down can be used for any future Creative Beast figures, especially with their upcoming T-Rex, which I'm very looking forward to seeing. And one final note I should also mention is that if you really want to own this Carnotaurus, then I highly recommend that you get this figure as soon as possible. Some of the newer figures by Creative Beast Studios sometimes tend to sell out very quickly. And with Carnotaurus being like one of the biggest dinosaur names in the general public, I can't imagine how long it'll be in stock. So I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick up this Carnotaurus if you want. And if you're planning to buy on this figure, do not sleep on it. The sooner you get it, the better. Because the secondary market for any sellout Creative Beast figures tends to be very high. Much more than what you'll see on the retail prices. And with that, we have come to the conclusion of this in-depth review. If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a like if you wish. And if you want to keep up with any of my upcoming contents, then subscribe to this channel if you like. Thank you so much for watching this in-depth review. And until next time, have a good day.